Welcome to the round table. This is episode 60, you guys. So welcome to it. I'm glad to see everyone here. Glad to see all your beautiful faces. And you know what? We have a special co-host tonight. But first, let me say, we're all going to say it, but let me just say happy birthday to Denise. She is with her family today. It's her birthday. So let's just send her some birthday love. I think I saw her tap in a second ago. And then we've got our brother House of Tattoos. Much love. So let's just get the show kicked off because I was having some technical issues. But let me bring in our co-host. And here we go. Always a surprise every week, right? Hold on.
Hey, hello, Jen.
There he
How you
is.
doing?
How are you?
Good. Thank you. You're
All
doing
right.
very good. Thank you.
All
Hello,
right.
everybody in the chat.
Okay, let's get this kicked off. And we have our special guest co-host, first time appearing. Hopefully he comes on again. Long time waiting. And we have G-Lew from the G-Lew Show.
Yay. What up?
Finally,
What?
right?
What's up, man? What's up, brother? How
Big
you doing,
Fred,
man?
what's up, big dog? How you doing, homie?
Good, brother. Good. How you doing, man?
I'm doing
Good to
great,
see
man.
you on.
I've been like anticipating this. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
know.
Welcome to the round table, man.
I know it's nice to have you. It's been a
thank you
minute.
for having me. Thank you for having me. It's been a long time overdue. Like I always be at, like Jen, like when are you gonna have me on your show? When are you gonna interview me? Like, you know what I mean? And she's like, one day, you're not ready. You're not ready yet, buddy.
That is not. That is not true. This is going to be good, you guys, and we're going to do it again for sure.
Sure.
But
Hey, I
apologies.
want to say happy birthday to Denise Castillo.
Happy birthday,
Happy
sis.
birthday, Denise. Happy
Much love.
birthday, Denise.
I know she's doing it big with the family right now, so much love. I really,
Yes.
really
Hey,
hope she has.
you know, a shout out to House of Tattoos. Hope you're doing good, brother. That's it. You know.
House. I send my love, house, prayers, love, all that. Sitting in your seat tonight. I'm holding it down for you tonight, house. Love you, brother.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right. You and gosh, we got a house full, guys. So let's just kick this off. And I don't know, since let's see, this is your first time on, well, on my channel, anyways. G. Let me hear about your week. Let's hear a little bit about what you did this last week and what life was looking like for you.
Well, not much. I'm not gonna say. I mean, my life's been kind of boring lately. You know what I mean? What happened?
I said, I
Oh
don't
no,
mean.
I'm talking to the people in the chat. I'm
Yeah,
just
okay.
when I do that, it's the people in the chat.
Got you. My life's been kind of boring for a minute right now because I'm like doing some things. So I haven't had much to brag about, but I will say that I've had a blessed week. The 4th of July was cool. You know what I mean? Kicked it, had some nice barbecue, looked at some fireworks, but not much. And just in between that, just working and trying to get some things in place and planning and thinking, just really in a different mode right now. So nothing to brag about, but I will say I've had a blessed week and nothing to complain about either.
Well, that's good.
Oh, cool,
Good.
sweet. Yeah, no,
Nice.
definitely.
That's right. Okay, and Fred, how about you? What'd you do this last week?
Oh, man, well, you know what? First and foremost, I had an excellent Fourth of July. You know, shout out to yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Shout out to
Yeah,
um,
let's.
and I had a great Fourth of July. You know, simple yet awesome. I'll say that. Um, the other thing I got to see Beverly Hills Cop Axel F, the new one.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought it was great. I enjoyed it. I mean, hey,
it's a
Eddie
thumbs
Murphy,
up.
you know, yeah, two thumbs up. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah, it's two thumbs. If you're a Beverly Hills Cop fan, that's one to see.
Okay.
Um, then they had a car show out here in Soledad for and you know what? Before I get into that, shout out to the city of Soledad, shout out to the Crusaders Car Club, and then shout out to the club I'm in, Nutran Central Coast Finest, right? Crusaders Car Club threw a car show out here, and it's free. It's on Front Street. People can just go. There's vendors, and you can just go and enjoy the day. You know. Um. Oh, shout out to Greenfield Towing in Greenfield, the towing company in Greenfield. I was called, you know, and asked to be a representative of them to pass out an award to a vehicle. And yeah, on behalf of the City of Soledad, Greenfield Towing, and Crusaders Car Club, yeah, I went out there to represent them as well, along with my car club as well. So, or the car club I belong to. And yeah, we presented the award, and it was awesome, man. It was just like an honor, kind of deal. I wasn't expecting that to happen, and yeah, it was great. It was great. I had a very good time. I still try to take it easy, with the stuff that's going on with me personally,
Mm.
but yeah, I had a good time. I mean, I'm, you know, I'm alive, and I'm, blessed to be alive. So I could enjoy the little bit of fruits of the labor, if you will, for that matter. So no, everything was great. Everything was great. Thank you.
Okay, well, glad to hear it.
How about you, Jennifer?
Yeah.
Oh, it was. If you think your life was a little bit boring, mine is super boring. But that's what I like, so it's all good for me. Let's see. 4th of July, we didn't have any fireworks, nothing here. Ruby was super bummed out, and she's like, all I wanted was sparklers. And I'm feeling like, damn, I suck as a mom. I don't even have sparklers for my kid. But when I went to pick up my daughter Ella, she had thought about it, so she got some and saved the day. So yeah, that's what we did. We barbecued, we had her little sparklers, and just tried to keep her on the little concrete I have, because I'm in the woods, so I'm trying not to burn down my forest. And
Coyotes didn't come out, did they?
they were back there, but I think they stayed away because there's been fireworks going off for like a couple weeks. You guys know how it is. People are crazy all around here. And fortunately, like, we were able to see what they were doing at the rodeo grounds from here. So I didn't have to go get in any mess over there and run into anybody I didn't want to see, and just stayed in the cut and enjoyed ourselves. And
Right.
Ruby was happy. Yeah.
No.
That's it. Good.
Yeah.
Nice night, other than the fireworks, of course.
You know what? 4th of July for myself too. I sit right in front of my house, and you just see the fireworks all over the place. That was sweet. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So it's it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh.
I know. And my dog was good. She didn't trip out at all this year. I think she's getting old enough now that like her hearing is going. So that's I guess one plus side. She wasn't tripping.
How about don't you have cats? What do your cats do or think of the fireworks?
I have 7 cats. Yeah.
Oh.
It didn't bother them. They were just outside, laying around. Like whenever I barbecue, they're like all circled around, laying there waiting for little treats. So they were fun. They were good.
So the cats eat they eat the. I never seen a cat like, okay, wow.
These cats
I would expect a dog, but I didn't know the cat. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, these cats are with it. They love it when I barbecue because they're right there waiting for something. They always get little treats.
Dope.
Yeah. Yes, I said 7.
one of my 3 dogs, one of them did kind of freak out a little bit, but he was okay. He was okay. I had to put him away, kind of, keep him away from everything. So that was good.
Did you give him a little edible or something?
Oh no.
No?
No, I just put him away. That was it.
All right. Well, I'm glad we all had a good week. I hope you guys let us know how your week was and your 4th was in the comments here.
I know everyone in the comments that spoke to me. I'm sorry. I can't, so hello, everyone. Thank you for the love and support.
Yes, for tapping in. I appreciate that. And thank you for sharing, gentlemen. I appreciate you guys doing that as well. So I know you guys probably saw this story in the news because I saw it and it was everywhere. And I just wanted to get everyone's opinion on it. But I'm going to play like a small portion of a video clip and then we'll react off of that. All right. So give me a second. Hopefully this is the right one because I've got a couple.
Acid like a chlorine smell.
And somebody yelled, "It's acid!" And I panicked. I got out of the car to look, and then a balloon hit me, and then I saw the guy throwing it. And that's what bullies do. They're really.
I don't want to play too much, but
Mm.
so Trejo was into, I guess, what was it, like a little festival car show, and gets hit with a water balloon, and an altercation took place allegedly. And from there, I guess it got into like a big story of like why it happened. And he and his friend did an interview afterwards to kind of explain things and wrap it up. And from what I understand, they feel like maybe it was racially motivated. So I don't know, but if somebody was throwing something at my Lolo, I think I would have an issue with that. And then to hear someone say it's acid, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, bro.
Well, I'll go briefly because I know you have more info on it. I was late on that story, but I've been hearing about it like all week, and I think that's crazy. First, because he's a legend. You know what I mean? First and foremost, and I'm sure he came with respect. You know what I mean? And third of all, that's a lowrider show, or he had his lowrider. That's lowrider etiquette. You don't play around or mess with the man's ride right there. So I don't know what that was about. Now, like you said, I'm hearing this racially more. I don't know the full story, but I just think it was disrespectful, to say the least. Period and point blank, because of who he is. So I'll pass it to you, bro.
Yeah. Well, my opinion. Thank you, bro. My opinion is, first and foremost, I heard that it was a tradition that they do at that parade or whatever it was, right? And I get it. I mean, if we're gonna go with that route, okay, I understand that part of it. The only thing is that, yeah, and again, like G-Lew said, you don't throw that kind of stuff at a lowrider. I mean, it really, or I mean,
That's
really it. Yeah, I can understand why he got frustrated, especially if somebody yelled that it's acid. I'm just basing it off of what he said, right? What Danny Trejo said. It's enough to freak somebody out, And cars, lowrider cars or any car really, if you take the time to build them or whatnot, that stuff is expensive, man.
Period, point blank. He's a grown man, though. Like, you don't even play with grown men. You know what I mean? Period. You know what I mean? But sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good. No, and you know what? The other side of it too, though. I mean, for anybody saying, "Oh, well, he got pushed down to the floor," whatever. The man is in his late 70s, man. That's nothing to be proud of. You know what I mean? At the end of it all, okay, who he plays on the screen, on the big screen or whatnot is one thing. I think we need to respect the person. The person of who he is. And understand he's a human being. He's not a superhero, like larger than life, perhaps in the sense of being a star. But I think it was due to lack of respect on that part. And even though they may say they were defending themselves against him or whatever because he got upset, I think it could have, it should have been diffused a little bit if that's the case. But from the gate, it was just already, he got upset. So I understand that part, that's it, because I'm starting to ramble here.
You think before you go, Jen, I just want to add, do you think sometimes too, it could be clout? Cause like on one end, it's like they should have respected him more. On the other end, it's like some people do stuff for clout. Oh, who does he think he is? Jealousy, haters. Key and you know what I mean? So again, I don't know the story, but it sounds either straight hate or either disrespect. Either way, it's not good.
Yeah, because now it could be the guys that did that and be like, "Hey, we want to do an interview with you. What's your side of the story?" Now
right.
now you're in the
you can go to
the limelight or whatever. At least the 15 minutes or whatnot. But
right.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. That's probably what came to my mind first of all was, okay, this is probably a clout thing. Out of all the people there,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And respectfully, he's 80 years old, and that's pretty. You know what I mean? That's messed up. No matter how you look at it. Not only is he a grown man, he's up there.
Yes.
And I did look at the video because I was trying to see, like, okay, did he really get hit? And honestly, what it looked like is that he missed the curb or he slipped and fell back. So I don't even think like whoever this guy was that he approached actually connected with him. I think he actually fell. And I believe he confirmed that in the interview he did. Now his friend did get, into a bit of a scuffle with the guy that approached, but he was backing up his homeboy. So that's I respect it. But it's unfortunate, it's unfortunate there were kids there, and it's it's supposed to be enjoyable family events. So shame whoever did that.
And what points do you get for that? Like what credit? Like you said, that I don't know. You know what I mean? And makes no
I
sense.
wouldn't want them right now.
Yeah, I don't think that should be. I think people jump on that too, like to like you said earlier, get clout or some kind of recognition. That should be stricken from the record. That you get no points whatsoever for that. That's nothing to be proud of.
None. He should get DP. He needs to get disciplined.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that we'll take
I'm just saying,
yeah, most definitely. But then people were saying too, like I noticed somebody in the comments mentioned it. This is part of that parade. This is something they do annually. They throw water balloons. They do this.
Oh,
we're saying,
I get it. But still, what I was saying earlier, even if that is the case, I don't care what it is. We have celebrations. You don't play with grown men. That like it's still respect there. If I don't know you like that, I'm not throwing water balloons at you. Unless it was a kid. That's what I'm saying. I don't know the story. You know what I mean? But if it was another grown man, or whatever doing that, that's disrespectful. You don't know me.
Yeah.
Or a lowrider period too, though. You gotta understand too. Whole different,
You can't even breathe on my lowrider like too hard. That's how serious that is.
Yeah. Right? No, you go around it. They have the rope around it. Someone you can't even touch. They should be respected. Yeah, you keep your hands off people's cars. That. So I again, I think that even if it was tradition on that parade or whatnot, that should have been respected. But I think that it also, due to who it was, they went ahead and did it.
That's why I say I mean like clout. Only way I could excuse it if it was like you said, it was that type of event and it was a kid or someone that really didn't know him at all, and just that's hard. But if that was the case, but I don't think that was the case. So that's disrespectful.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it was either. Most definitely, I would not. I don't know. I just feel like it was bad all the way around. Hopefully,
and that's how people get hurt, man. Small things like that lead to like someone could have got shot. Like things lead to bigger things. That's why you don't play with people, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Pranks and stuff like that. Yeah, it's harsh, man.
Right. I mean, Fred, you're in a car club, and how would you feel? Like if you were thinking about it, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be happy, right?
Oh, not at all. Not at all. Again, I mean, that's not the sense of that it's not cheap. I mean, that's only a part of it. I mean, anybody for on their vehicle, if I walked up to, G-Lew and he's driving around in a regular car or whatever, and I throw a water balloon at him, I mean, come on, it's gonna, or anybody for that matter, is gonna be like, hey, what the heck, man? Like, it's automatic disrespect, I mean,
I don't care if I got a Pinto right here. You throw a water balloon at me, that's like disrespectful, man. Like,
yeah, exactly. It could be a, 91 Honda Accord. It doesn't matter. It's gonna, a 2001 Honda Accord, and it's still disrespectful. You don't do that to somebody. Period. Point blank. Like,
for sure.
At all.
Yeah, most definitely. All bad. Well, hopefully, people move on from this, and maybe whoever did this learns a valuable lesson going forward.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Speaking of cars, there's one more incident I'm going to touch on, and it actually does involve a car. And I believe it was Bougie D that dropped this topic, and she asked us to give our opinion on it. And this was also kind of like a viral thing, mostly in Southern California, I believe. And it was where the little boy, I guess he had touched a man's vehicle. They were at a bus stop, and he touched like the emblem of I think it was a Mercedes or something, and he maybe bent it. The little boy had autism, and he was with his his teenage sister at the bus stop. The man who was in the car gets out of the car, walks over to the bus stop where they're sitting, and physically slapped the little boy's face.
Wow.
Yeah. And this really caused, a lot of people are noticing. I mean, social media is everywhere, right? People are recording everything.
Wow. He slapped the little boy.
Slapped him in the face.
Who was the boy with? Was he with
his teenage sister?
Oh, that's it. Oh, okay.
So at first I thought maybe that was the mom, but it was actually his sister. And fortunately, she was, wise enough to record the incident because she felt intimidated. She thought something was going to happen, and it did. And this guy, I guess, is getting all kinds of backlash from the community. I mean, you know how it is. People find out who you are.
As he should. I mean, you don't have a right to slap. Like I said, again, you don't know who. Like you said, luckily, he didn't have anyone else with him. You don't know what could have happened. You know what I mean? Like, if you slap my kid, I don't care if he has autism or not. You get out, I'm sure you're upset. You know what I mean? You see it's a kid, you have to handle that appropriately. Like, you got to contain your like, man, especially if he didn't break anything, you could bend that back. I know how those emblems, you could bend it right back. So if it wasn't that, of course you're mad and you probably tell, hey, you know what I mean? Won't. But no, putting hands on him, no, that's a no, brother. You should get your ass whooped, homie.
Exactly. I was thinking that too. When I saw the video, I was like, tell me that. I knew it was not the mom, because had that been me standing there, just a motherly reaction, and I'm sure a father as well.
Yes.
I would have flung around so fast. It would have been.
Again, that's how people get hurt. Seriously. You know what I mean? Because you slap, you don't know what someone's reaction can be about their kids, man. You don't play with people's kids, autism or not. Then I'm sure when he found that out, he felt even worse, but autism or not, kids are kids. Some of them are bad. I get it. But you don't do that, bro.
Right. Right. I don't know, Fred. What do you think? Like, that's all bad, right?
I agree with you guys on that. I mean, you know what? Like you said again, you could bend that emblem back, or, man, you could.
You can talk to him. Hey, what's your problem? I understand, but putting hands is different. That's with anyone.
Yeah, and you know what? It can be fixed. It can be fixed. If it's that much of a thing, it could be fixed. I mean, there. Again, had it escalated into something bigger, and somebody really gets seriously hurt to the point where there's no return or whatever, then what there's no point in it. It could be, if it's materialistic, it could be fixed or replaced. That's really it. That was and I mean, for him to even for him, I mean, again, just for him to slap the kid, and you know what? And I'm not defending it. It seemed like he did kind of pull back from, going full force into slapping him, but still, you still touched him, you still, and
I didn't see it, so I don't know how bad it was. I'm just hearing it, and just by me hearing it that he slapped the kid, it's like, nah, homie, no.
Well, you know what? I mean,
I understand.
Besides all that, you don't put your hand on somebody else's kid.
Period. I mean, not even if even people, period. You don't put your hands on it, but someone's kid, people don't play about their kids, bro.
His little sister. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying people do not play about their kids. No,
yeah. No, and his little sister's yelling at the man in Spanish. She's saying he's ill. He's ill. He's not. He doesn't know and stuff. And he didn't.
Yeah, she was trying to.
He didn't care.
That he didn't know better, and
unfortunately. I mean,
and then you said it was the passenger. It wasn't even the driver.
I think it was the driver.
Oh,
yeah. Do you know if they caught him, Jen? Do you know if they caught him or anything? I know there was a lookout for him.
Oh no, from what I found out today, he had to hire security at the business already. I mean, they were outside of his home, signs. You know how it goes. Like, once people are going to find out who you are, where you work, find out your government, and they're going to be knowing everywhere they can find you. So
all bad.
I'm sure is regretting every second.
All bad. Yeah, he regrets it. All bad. You don't do that. You know what I mean? That's why, we just have to learn. restraint, respect, restraint. You know what I mean? And I understand, but you don't put your hands on anyone, because you don't never know who you're putting your hands on first and foremost. But
Right.
kids is a no-no. You don't do anything with kids, especially if they're not yours, so people do not play about their kids. You know what I mean? So that was a no, bro. And especially over that, some materialistic, even if you broke it, you're mad, but that's a kid, bro. You know what I mean? It's just what it is,
You know, I dare ask the question, if it was an adult, or if an adult was with that kid, say for example, an adult, whether
You would
male or female,
you
whichever,
address
if he
oh,
would have did the same thing,
you
I
address
can guarantee you he would not have walked away. He would not have walked away from that.
Nah, but again, that's why you have under juvenile or whatever adolescence, and you have adult. You would, if even if that would have happened, you get out and you address the adult. Hey, what's up
Yeah,
with your kid? Boom, boom, boom. I don't know how that goes. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
you address the adult. You don't even deal with the kid.
yeah,
It's sad that happened. I understand they were mad. Whoever, I just still didn't see it. So I don't know the severity of it. But
yeah,
regardless, to get out and you don't do that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So everything he got coming right now, I'm sorry, bro. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say you deserve it, but that's what it is. You know
yeah,
what I mean? You have to
yeah.
pay the consequences of that. People do not play about kids. That's just an overruled period. If you go to jail, if you do anything and they hear it's about a kid, it's
Yeah.
over
Oh
with.
no, it's a wrap. It's a wrap with that too. I mean, that's
Debbie,
somebody will approach him at that point. Somebody will approach him and
Yeah.
yeah.
slap me kind of deal. It's like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't think he went to jail, but I think they are looking into it. I'm sure, there's potential charges. I mean,
well,
it's everywhere.
Yeah.
he he, he might be able to get away from going to jail, but I mean, somewhere down the line, hopefully not, but somebody will probably approach him with that. Like, hey, try that with me, or kind of deal. People are upset.
He's gonna
And
get it.
go ahead, bro.
No, I'm just saying, yeah, he's definitely gonna get it. He's probably already, like she said, receiving a lot. Yeah, I mean, he's overwhelmed. I'm sure he definitely regrets it, but that's what comes with it. So you're gonna learn today.
Right,
No,
right.
yeah, and you know what? And again, if we go back to what we've discussed on here before, there's cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
There's cameras everywhere. So I heard on another podcast, um,
Right, Dee?
that whoever filmed it, you know, if it was a male or female, whichever was, why didn't they help? At that point, But then again, they would have escalated into something bigger.
Right.
Um,
Like
so
Cultura said also, I had forgot to mention that there was a GoFundMe started, and there's like 80 grand already raised for the family. They had
Wow.
found out, yeah, this family, I guess, was living, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys in the chat, I believe they were living out of their vehicle in a park.
yeah,
So to
yeah,
make matters worse, they were in a sensitive situation and dealing with, a young boy who's dealing with some
That's
health
great.
issues.
yeah,
Oh, and you said the
yeah,
kid was autistic. So yeah, wow. But either way, I was about to say, whatever they got going on to raise 80 grand,
Yeah.
hey, that's a blessing, and they should be
yeah,
situated and whatever on their way. You know what I mean? That's sometimes a good comes out of bad. So
yeah.
man,
Yeah. They're being shown a lot of love, and the community really has rallied around them. So,
Yeah.
Shout out to that community for,
where was this?
where was it? Was it in Bellflower? Is that where it was at, guys?
Bellflower?
Somewhere in Southern California. Yes.
Bellflower, yeah. Somewhere in Bellflower. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I believe so. Let me know in the chat if I got that wrong.
Yeah.
Let's see, I'm going to get through some of these comments. Again, shout out to everyone that is here. Give us a like in the.
Hit that like button for Jen.
Yeah.
Hey, Fred, while she's doing that, man, I want to send respects to you, brother, man. I really respect your knowledge of things, man, and not only with what you guys do here, but the music business and all that. I be checking you out. I know your knowledge and education on that, bro. You know what I mean? I respect that, homie. You know what I mean?
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. No, I appreciate that. Man. Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I
You know
was
what?
going to say that next. Like, I want to hear a few things that you guys have to say.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Oh, go ahead, man. Go ahead, man.
I appreciate that. And I wanted to just say shout out to Dee Dee as well, because there were some things that I didn't understand about some topics, and she sent me some information, and it really helped me clear up some topics that I wasn't clear on. So thank you for doing that. And that just goes to show that if you guys have some information and you want to share with somebody, and there's a way to do that without like attacking and
Shout
sending
out
it.
to Dee Dee. What up, Dee Dee? That's my girl. That's my producer, and that's my partner. All that. Shout out to Dee Dee. What up, Dee Dee?
I appreciate her. Thank you for that.
Oh, yeah.
So, any news, anything that you saw, Fred, coming up or that has happened since we last spoke about the whole Diddy thing?
Oh, the Diddy. I think I don't know if I spoke on that last time. I know that the city of New York took the key back. The key to the city, they took it back. Then the what is it? What do you get, a doctorate or something from a university or something like that? An honorary doctorate or something like that, right?
Yeah, Howard University because that's the college he went to. He didn't graduate from there, but he went there for a couple years, I think. But yes, they gave him an honorary degree, what a lot of celebrities I'm hearing get. You know what I mean? For whatever reason, but they took that back. And I think something recently in Miami, they had something for him too. They took that back too. So
Wow.
everything.
Yeah. Oh, okay, just going into that right now real quick. Let me just say this. This is one thing that really kind of freaks me out. So you have a lot of people spending a lot of their time paying back their school debt, trying to
Right.
get a degree and masters and doctrines and all this other stuff, right? But if you become a celebrity, you pretty much get it handed to you just because you're who you are. I mean, it's an honorary. I mean, does that make sense, guys? I mean, I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. Does that really make sense? Like,
No, it doesn't. That's the again how what they do with, like you said, for celebrities for whatever reason. Then he may be kicking money into it. It's a lot that goes into that. But again, just because you're a celebrity, you get a lot of things handed to you. But the flip side of that is you can see how fast they could take it back too when they turn on you. You know what I mean? Or when you're no good, it's a wrap. I'm sure he's receiving that because for someone like him or a lot of celebrities who's had it that way for so long, they're so used to things, you know what I mean, and everything. So I know now he's feeling that everything is being taken away from him. You know what I mean? Things that your money can buy.
Yeah. No, definite. Hey, you know what? I mean, I just think I mean, just kind of sickening to see that, though. And again, see, we don't go too far off from street politics into everything. Everything runs the same pretty much. And I say that to say this. Think about it. So, while they're still, clean and good or whatnot in say a celebrity, right? But as soon as they mess up, guess what? You're out. Boom, you're out. You're no good no more. You're done. That's it. It's like everything,
Kind of how it's crazy, like you just said. I don't know what you said about the street politics, but if you look at it, they intertwine the same way. Like P. Diddy is considered no good, so now he's no good. They're taking everything, like everything is stripped from you automatically. It's like all bad, and then he hasn't even been charged with anything yet, but not taking up because we've seen it. You know what I mean? So we've seen what he's done. But the crazy part about that is, look, that when we see this footage that we seen with him with Cassie, we don't realize that's like what 7, 6, 7, 8 years old, right? So now we're seeing this. Now it's the hate, but he did this years ago, and it's probably been still doing it, and we had no idea. You know what I mean? So this person is still living this life and presenting himself as someone you think that is not who he really is.
Yeah.
You know what I
mean? They say don't meet your heroes kind of deal. Just kind of like that situation. Kind of like on with your show last time, G-Lew, you had that show where does money, make you happy? Does it buy happiness? Yeah. Obviously, it doesn't, man. I mean, I would think if I had that kind of money, there would be nothing for me to be upset about.
Right? Why am I beating this girl up? Am I that upset? I'm a billionaire. You know what I mean? So,
That's
You know,
crazy. Like,
'cause let's face it though. In the real world, guys, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody in the chat, anybody, I don't care. Correct me if I'm wrong. 9 out of 10 times in a relationship, the argument is financial. So if you have all this stuff, what the
Yeah.
hell are you doing? You know,
Right. Because I was about to say, yes, it is, but for him, it shouldn't be. But like you said, yes.
right?
And like you said, again, it proves that money is not happiness, but it's like, wow, like you know what I mean? What are we doing that you're doing that? You know, it's a sad situation. And,
Yeah,
I don't know, man, that's a very sad situation right there, man. P. Diddy.
big
You know,
time, man, big time.
I think too, what we're speaking on, I think power too. When you have someone like that, just like I said, now we're just seeing this footage 7 years later. Power
Mhm.
makes he was still probably doing this, and whenever she left the picture, he moved on with his life. You know what I mean? Not thinking about the trauma he caused her or whatever. But he's power. Power brings that to where you think you can get away and do anything you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Until this happened.
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And then the film too, though. You know, it's the cameras and everything in the hotels and and stuff like that.
Cameras changed the
But,
game.
oh no,
Cameras,
big time. Big time, big time. It's a new era. You
yes.
can't get away with anything anymore. Not even so much as even running a red light. Thinking nobody saw you. Now you got cameras.
Right.
You
I
know,
get worried now when I run the red light. I hope I don't get a ticket in the mail.
That's not,
I
that's
know,
messed
right?
up because I got one right here that I
Wow.
got.
Oh wow.
Wow.
I knew it too because I barely made it, but you know how you can, like, I saw the flash
Right.
Oh
front
yeah.
and I thought, oh, tell me that wasn't me because there was a car behind me even. So I
Right.
thought it was for sure on them, but they got me too. So
Wow.
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow. And you know what? That's the scary part too, though, because maybe the person, not the guy, but the person behind someone, like when you're going like that, there's sometimes they're like riding your rear bumper, and so if you stop, it's gonna, it's like
Yeah.
exactly.
it's kind of, it's kind of a, catch 22, if you will. It's gonna one way or the other, your deductible or the ticket. I mean, it's just,
That's
it's
half
just
of driving now. When I drive, I got to watch the other person just as much as I'm watching myself.
yeah, yeah, man, yeah. No, it's unfortunate like that, right?
Facts.
No, definitely, man.
But
But
that's with Diddy. He went from being like the man with the best parties allegedly
He
and
wasn't
all
never
that.
me. I never liked P. Diddy. No disrespect though. Respect to men, and what he built and all that, but I was
Yeah,
never a fan of
I
him.
never was either, but it seemed
yeah,
like a lot of people,
Yeah.
for whatever reason. I mean, I think we know some of the reasons now. A
yeah,
lot of people were sort of bowing down to him.
Right. Power. I mean, he built a what do you call that? His
An
label
empire. Yeah,
empire. There you go. With the clothing. I mean, that's why I said no disrespect on that end. You know what I mean? He did. He built an empire.
yeah.
All that. So yeah, respect to that. You are definitely a mogul, great businessman, but you got a lot of stuff in the closet, brother, and it's gonna come back. Those eggs always come back to hatch, man, at the end of the day,
yeah,
man. You know
yeah,
what I mean? And that's what
definitely,
happens to you, bro. Period.
Definitely. Thank you,
definitely.
Nina. Bless you.
Yeah, you know what? And it seemed like when in the '90s with the East Coast West Coast thing, which was just pretty much Death Row and Bad Boy kind of deal. He looked more like the innocent guy. Suge Knight looked like the bully.
Right.
Turned out to be kind of the same difference in the sense. Only one admitted to it.
That's why I at least I don't care for Suge either, but I can respect at least he knew who he was. Diddy was a
Yeah,
type to hide it, throw rocks, hide his hand. He was trying to
yeah,
always act innocent, brother love, but you were doing a lot of shit behind the scenes, Puffy.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I
man.
mean? And you were fake, homie. So I can't respect it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know what's the sad thing, man? I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and I remember in the '90s that when that stuff was going on, the height of the golden era of West Coast rap for that matter. I remember I used to think like, man, if I was in that circle with Death Row Records, it'd be like great. It wouldn't be because I was doing the underground scene, and it was just hectic with sometimes there'd be fights and people overdoing it with alcohol or anything else, and it was just a mess. And I thought to myself, man, I would love to work with a professional instead of like these guys over here. And it turned out to be worse than Death Row Records. People were getting beat up, and it was just like, oh, you look back and be like, dang, that was terrible, man. It's
Right.
a bad environment, just a bad environment to work in.
The 90s were crazy. Really,
Dude.
really crazy. But you know what I look back on now, though, as bad as they were and all this stuff, the havoc and all the Death Row should, because he caused a lot of havoc. But what I look back on now and say some of the stuff is like, because you see now it's just out of control with the artists, the youngsters. It's no direction. It's just all out wild west. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With everything. You know what I mean? At least then, though, it was structured. We didn't like it, but people dealt with the right way. You wouldn't have so much stuff going on the way it is now. You know what I mean? But
Definitely.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's like you said, though, where there's back then there was no social media, so now it's like you got people pulling. Now you have people on Instagram or on social media pulling out a big old stack, of money or whatever, and then, hey man, you think you can get me, pull up, and guess what they do? They do it.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird. That's always been kind of weird to me to be showing that off like that. It's just,
that's the gift. That's the gift and the curse of social media now, though, because it's a gift with so many ways. Of course, it helps everyone. You can promote. You can do so many things with social media, but the flip part of it is the youngsters. Like you said, when we were young, we didn't have that. But if to say we did have it, we don't know. And when you're young, you don't think. You know what I mean? So the youngsters, it's like a steroid for them. So everything is being broadcasted. You want to promote, you want to show off, you want to do all this, and that's what's going on. And unfortunately, again, like I said, there's no direction now. So it's like the kids are just doing what they want to do, and it's just the wild west. Everyone right now, it's really like really sad times right now. I don't know, man, the future for these youngsters, bro.
Yeah. No, you know what? But I will say this, guys. I will say this about the difference, like you said, between then and now. A lot of people say, oh, you old washed up rappers or whatnot, right? Rap artists or whatever, right? I will say this, though. Back then, there were album sales. They were album six times platinum. That's, 6 million.
Right.
Copies sold. People actually got up out of their house, go to the record store, and bought that album.
That's different.
Yeah. Now it's like they base it on clicks. I see people. I heard somebody say, I think earlier today I was watching. Oh, well, did you see his numbers? I'm like, really? Like that's supposed to, people become this.
It's different. Just like
over likes.
Hey Fred, just like that 6 times platinum, someone who actually bought that, if you compare that to today's time, that would be like 12 times platinum. You know what I mean? Because it's different. You know what I mean? Actually bought the album CD 2 or 3 times. Sometimes if you scratched it, broke it, lost it, you go buy it again. You know what I mean? Different, bro.
Exactly. Big difference, guys. Big difference nowadays.
Yeah,
big difference nowadays.
People went out of their way to show love and appreciation.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna say this. shout out to Spice One. Right. I got to meet him on 2 occasions, and the second time around he was like, "Hey, what's up, bro?" Like he was, even the first time, but the second time it was like he recognized me and he was like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And he was recently on Drink Champs.
Yeah, I seen that, man. I seen that last week.
Yeah. And he said, man, he goes, if you treat your fans bad, Merle, he goes, you ain't nothing, man. He's just like, he said, those are the people who make you, And I think that's another thing too, due to social media. A lot of artists who have gained that popularity, even though they do say it, they kind of miss that because they're when an artist went to a signing or or went to a studio like what I happened to be in the studio with Spice One and at a show. Those were, thing that was going on at the time. If they show up to a signing, they appreciate the fans, right? Nowadays, they don't care if they see you in person. They might. I mean, I'm not saying they don't, but they do.
It's too
But
normalized
exactly.
because social media has normalized things to where it's not
Yeah.
that was the mystique of liking a celebrity or your artist, because you couldn't see them like that.
Yeah.
You love music, you love them, pictures,
Exactly.
but they weren't accessible. Now social media has made it everything accessible to where it's not that serious. They think they
Yeah.
know you personally.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
overly saturated, so people aren't
Yeah.
as willing to go out of their way. Yeah.
Exactly. You know what, guys? I know if you look at my Instagram, I have pictures of the people I've met. Yuck Mouth of the Loonies also too is another cool person I'm still friends with to this day.
Right.
These people were so humble and cool. You know what I mean? To kick it with. There's a Diddy story, guys, and you know what? I mean, you know what? I'll put it out here.
Let's talk about it.
No.
Talk about it.
Okay, no, yeah. So when back in it was 2002, we I did a song with you, and let me back up. I'll tell you a quick little story. What happened was I was going through it. I was taking care of my mom, raising two nephews. We're really going through it. We're really having a very hard time. And I remember my mom was in the hospital, and the kids were small. My nephews were small. I was washing dishes. We were washing dishes, the three of us in the house, and I said, and we were playing the Ablation from Yuck Mouth of the Loonies, right? His solo album.
The double album.
Yeah, the
That's
double
my
album.
Mouth album.
And,
Go ahead.
And I told my nephews, I said, hey, I said, you know what, man? I go, I'm gonna do a song with them one of these days. I'm gonna do a song with them, And that was a manifestation, man, because I got to do that. I got to do that. I got to meet him. I partied with him, and like E40 was there, and all these other people, and it was just a wild time. But when we were recording with him, there's remember the song "Satisfy You" from P Diddy? He used the I Got 500 beat.
Yeah.
Okay.
They
There's
did a
West Coast remix, a white label West Coast remix that features P Diddy and the Loonies.
Yeah, I heard that. I
Yeah,
thought that
okay.
official is a white label, meaning what?
Yeah.
It's not official.
Yeah, it's not an official release. I think yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a white label. It's not an official release. You'll find it on YouTube or somewhere.
No,
But,
I remember when that came out though. I thought that was like official that they linked up.
No, they did. He did.
Okay.
I asked him, and he said that that Diddy flew them out there.
Okay.
He flew them out there, and he all paid expenses. He flew them to New York, all paid expenses. Gave them $500,000 each, and then flew them back. Yeah,
Wow.
man. Yeah,
500,000.
500,000 each. That's
Wow.
$1 million. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure
But
that's
man,
more than they make.
just doing that much for wow. But yeah, no, yeah. So that's off the record. So those of you, it's called "Satisfy You," the West Coast remix or whatnot. For those people that. But yeah, that's the story with that with Yuck, and there's a lot of stuff kicking back with people. Go ahead, go ahead. What you got to say, brother? And I'm going to share something right now.
I want to ask you briefly while I'm thinking about it, while we're talking about music. What is because I know you know a lot about music, right? You love music. What is your favorite era of music, of hip hop?
My favorite era, bro, it would have to be the 90s, dude. The 90s. After the Chronic, once the Chronic took off, you know what's weird? Well, look, I come from an era from early on, Rappers Delight. You're talking Beat Street, Breaking, right. all that stuff.
Right.
That's where it originated from, right?
Right.
Run DMC, KRS-One, all that stuff. All the way. Slick Rick was a real big favorite of mine. Or is still. And I noticed that what really threw me off. It's funny you asked me that because I remember I would buy all the at the time I would buy the tapes. and I had a bunch of rap tapes. And I remember I had the Chronic, and I remember I saw Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg doing nothing but a G thing, I think on Arsenio.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, wow. So I really tuned into that. Back then you had to really be on it. If you missed it and you didn't record it on a VHS, you missed it. It was gone forever.
Right.
So I remember I was like, oh, wow. So I really watched it. I think I taped it. So what really freaked me out was I was at the record store one day at the warehouse in Salinas.
I used to work at, hold on briefly.
Yeah.
Well, you Salinas, but I used to work at a warehouse, music, around the 90s. And man, I loved it. Well, I had a couple, I just, long story short, music is my life, so even when I got that job, I loved it because it was based around music. I got all my free music. I was able to get all my music, meet a lot of celebrities because the one I was working at was close to Culver City, where a lot of it was just it was great. You know what I mean? So just cause I spoke on warehouse music, I know they're not around anymore. So I just had to give a shout out to warehouse music.
Definitely. It was the one over here was we had a couple. We had one in the mall, but then the one is right there where the Western Dental is at, Jen, in Salinas, on North Main.
Yeah.
It used to be right there. And I was in there, and I was just looking for whatever other tapes and stuff, more rap music and stuff, right? And then I heard this girl singing she was kind of singing nothing but a G thing, and she said a little part, and then the mom continued. And I remember I was standing there, and I'd be like, "What the heck? Like, the heck?" It was just kind of weird to me because I always came around when I would play the rap music and stuff. A lot of the people that I knew that stop that, just a bunch of whatever, I was the outcast in a sense, the minority in that sense. And when I heard that, I was like, what the heck? Like, what the monks, like, how do they know about that? And looking back now, that's when rap really went mainstream with the Chronic album, the first Chronic album.
Yeah.
And it really took off from there. From there, everybody, I remember telling people like, oh yeah, Dr. Dre, he's from NWA, and this and that. And I remember people that I hung around with that were the ones that were like, shut up, or whatever, or Ice Cube, whatever. And now they watch him in movies, And then those same people I was telling them, yeah, Dr. Dre's from NWA. And they were like, oh, wow, I didn't even know that. They weren't aware of everything. But see, I've always followed that type of that music, stuff like that. So, yeah, that was my way into like noticing that it kind of took off and it went mainstream to where now everybody knew about it. It wasn't just, it was just a selected few that that played that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. I'll share something with you guys.
Thank you, Brenda.
A little going back a little bit to Spice One. Oh, go ahead, Jen.
I just want to say thank you to Brenda for the super chat. Shout out. She says,
Brenda,
thank you.
Brenda Love, that's my sis right there. Shout out to Love.
Right.
So here's something like that when I, as I stated before, when I go into the studio, I don't. Well, first of all, I don't do any type of drugs or cannabis or I'll social drink at home. I don't drink at during sessions and stuff. But I was at this place, and when I say studio, it was my friend's house. He had a studio set up in his house. Spice One ended up showing up, and we were there, and they brought out a bottle of Remy Martin, right? And so we were all there. And if you see, I have a documentary from my film that's here on my channel, on my channel. And you see me, and I have my back to the camera, and I'm looking at it, but I was looking at the box. I was looking, I think this was bottles. But let me show you guys something.
I used to be my shit.
Okay. What is Remy Martin? I know that's probably
it's the champagne of cognac. So like how people love Hennessy, Remy is like that's the best cognac. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is signed by Spice One. Let me see if I can.
Oh, that's dope.
Spice One.
That's dope.
Yeah, so I still have this in the box, But yeah. And then I got to meet him again, and he was super cool, man. I got a lot of respect for him. You know, shout out to Spice One. So
Spice One,
he's always been, you know,
Spice
it
One
was,
is always stay humble, stayed himself. You know what I mean? Like he's never went Hollywood. Never, I got to interview Spice a few years ago too, but Spice, I
yeah,
seen him on Drink Champs. He's always just remained the same like guy. You know what I mean? So shout out to Spice
yeah.
One. He's dope. I used to bump Spice One. Shout out.
No, yeah. You know what's the trip about him, that it was at first when you first meet him, like in person, anyways, he was a little bit more like, you know, kind of laid back, kind of quiet, kind of feeling the room and whatnot. But as the day went on, he
E-Vision.
just became the most funniest person ever. You know, just hilarious, man. I mean, we couldn't even stop laughing. He was just a funny guy. You know, real good guy, real funny dude. You know, and then you know what? A lot of people, you know, some people may not know who Spice One is. He was one of Tupac's best friends.
Best
You know,
friends.
and it was a trip. I got a call one time from somebody on a podcast, and they were like, "Hey, you know, I'm about to do an interview with Spice One. Is there anything you can tell me?" I said, "Check this out, bro. He's gonna be kind of like, you know, kind of serious or whatnot at first." I go, but as the night goes on, once he starts feeling you out, like he's gonna get hilarious. Said and done, man. That was just the most awesome, man. I couldn't stop laughing. He's got stories, bro. Like,
Right.
he's awesome, man. He's awesome. He's an awesome dude.
He a real
Yeah,
dude. Spice One is
yeah.
a
No diddy,
dude.
no
Yeah.
diddy, no diddy.
He's a
Yeah,
shout out to Spice, man. The East Bay gangster. I seen
yeah,
big say that, the East Bay gangster. Yep.
yep,
Spice One
yeah,
legend. Love Spice One. Salute.
yeah, yeah, man. He goes way back. Yeah, somebody said Schoolie D. That too, man. Schoolie D. Actually, Spice One was on the
School
Menace to Society soundtrack too. He has the Triggers Got No Heart on
Heart.
there too as well.
Trigger Got No Heart. That's it. That was
Yeah,
on his first album. Oh no, second album. Someone mentioned Schoolie D. Schoolie D is a legend too. Like he don't get his credit, but he was like the first, and he's from the East Coast. He's from
yeah,
Philly, but he's credited with original, really the first gangster rap song. Even though Ice T is with 6 in the
yeah,
morning, Ice T actually got his thing from Schoolie D. So
yeah,
shout out to Schoolie D,
yeah.
whoever said that.
Schoolie D. He was on the wasn't he on the soundtrack to King of New York, right?
Yes,
Or was
yeah,
it
yeah.
King? Yeah.
There you
And then
go.
there's also Cool G Rap and all these other guys from the East Coast that we weren't even hearing of before. You know,
No, I
it's just
love.
a lot of stuff.
If you're real hip hop, you know about Cool G Rap. I mean, all of that. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
I'm glad you're mentioning them. But yeah, shout out to Schoolie D, man. Whoever had said that in the chat.
yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, I remember him too as well, man. No, that was awesome, man. All that stuff is just, you know, that stuff comes in. I'm sorry, Jen. We're
Yeah,
playing
No,
over here. Go over, man.
that's what I'm
yeah,
saying. I'm glad.
we are taking over I'm sorry for like. Jen, go ahead.
We're
I
telling
want.
more stories.
It's on
I
mute.
was
Jen. Mute her.
anticipating. I was anticipating the two of you talking music, so that's kind of.
Oh man, it's just, you know, when you love music and you have that connection to stuff, it's automatic. You know, with somebody, it's automatic. You just kind of just, you know, it just
Yes.
clicks. You know, you can tell when somebody's not like genuine or they're kind of newer. You know, which again, going back to Spice One, my son one day he says, "Hey man, hey dad, have you heard this song?" And he played "Step on the Side of Me," right from what is it 187 he wrote, no, I forgot whatever album he has, the first one,
America's
America's Nightmare.
Nightmare. Yep.
Yeah, America's Nightmare. Actually, you know what, he has it tattooed on his arm, the cover, he has it tattooed on his arm.
A lot of
And
people that album. My favorite is, well, I don't know, the first and the second, but a lot of people love the third, America's Nightmare. Of course, Tupac was on there, but that was
yeah,
a classic. But my favorite is probably 187 he wrote.
oh yeah, yeah,
But go ahead,
oh
bro.
yeah, exactly. You know what, so when my son asked me that, he was like, "Hey man," because he kind of got, you know, he kind of got turned on to Spice One, maybe from his friends or somebody, you know. And I was like, "Yeah," I go, "Yeah, of course." I go, "Dude, but you know, but see, like I told you guys before here on the roundtable, Jen, I told you guys too.
Mhm.
At home, I'm just dad. You know, I'm just dad at home. So
Right.
when like my son's friends and stuff, they sometimes freak out like, what the heck? Like your dad met that person, or your dad met Mac Dre, and all this kind of stuff that comes into play. At home, I'm just dad, and that's all good, But yeah, I told my son, yeah, dude, I go look, and I showed him the bottle. He's like, oh wow, I showed him the pictures that I had showed him, God knows how many times, but nobody listens, until they hear it. So yeah, no, it's a cool thing, man. It's a cool thing just to, you know, uh, tell them, But at the end of the day, I'm still just dad at home, and I take care of what I need to take care of. That's really it.
Hey, let me ask Jennifer. Jen, I'm sorry, Jen. I don't call, what is your favorite era of? Well, I don't want to say music, just hip hop. Since they're speaking on that, because I'm really learning that Jen knows her stuff too. Jen is not a slouch. Don't get it twisted and don't think it's sweet. Jen knows her shit. So, Jen, what is your favorite era of hip hop?
It's a little bit sweet, but I mean, definitely the '90s too. But I love like kind of a wide variety of music, but definitely the '90s.
I know that's what just say music because I know that, but I mean just say hip hop now because we're speaking on hip hop.
Yeah, I definitely love the '90s still. I mean, that's what you would hear on my playlist, and it's probably always going to be that way. Like I like what I like, and every now and then there's going to be a little something new I'll grab and put in there, but basically I like what I like, and that's it.
That part.
Yeah, you know what, man? Being from early on with the hip hop from when it came from New York and stuff, a lot of it too that we see now with where you have in the '90s where you had the R&B kind of mixed in with the rap, and then you had the love songs come into the rap music and stuff like that, right? But it was all an evolution. People, sometimes, back then people were, oh, East Coast, West Coast. But if you really look at it, you had LL Cool J, who was one of the first ones, if I'm not mistaken, to come out with the I Need Love song,
yes.
In the rap record, and I was like, what the heck? It was just a different thing.
I love that. So that's one of my favorite LL Cool J songs. Me personally, a lot of people say a lot of people say it's corny, but that's one of my favorite LL songs. I love that song.
Yeah, man. You know what? I remember the Fat Boys had one on Crushin'. I think the album Crushin' and so on and so forth. And it just when you look back now, in a lot of it too, even if you look at Southern California for a lot of if you go what is called Chicano rap, if you will. I mean, I just like to label it as rap. I don't care if it's from the South, East, or whatever. It's rap. At the end of it, it's rap. In my book, anyways. But, for the sake of argument, if you look at Chicano rap, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that stuff, too. But it all evolves from New York and LL Cool J, so on and so forth. And then it just goes into that, which is a beautiful thing, I think.
Yeah, and it's a lot of samples because, especially the West Coast, that's what we love, the oldies. So we mix it in with the new. You know what I mean? That's just the way. That's just how it is. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Same. Respect. Oh, definitely. No, yeah, man. So go ahead. Jen. I'll be quiet for now too, man. I'll let you speak, Jen. Sorry, Jen. Over here.
We got to give the show back to Jen. Jennifer.
No, I'm just soaking it in. I love it. Definitely. And you know what? I just wanted to say thank you guys for sharing that because I'm learning from you guys a lot of those facts because like I said, I like songs that I like, but I don't have a lot of the history of certain things. So it's interesting to hear these things.
Yeah. No, and you know what, guys? The one thing that I will say is that a lot of people tend to overlook a lot of the stuff. When rappers came out, everybody kind of just shined it off like, oh, it's just a passing fad, and that rap, and I don't like that rap, and all this other stuff, right? But if you look at it for what it is, it's the only genre of music too which I don't agree with, that they want to disregard of the person once they reach a certain age. That's one. Number two, though, if you really look at it, rap there wasn't a like somebody said earlier about LL Cool J, he had all the ladies follow him. took off his shirt. He was all muscled out and everything like that, right? But hip hop itself, it could be anybody now. Anybody could be a sex symbol, whether he was overweight or whether he was not even a good looking person. He did it. Just hit the music. The music kept coming out, And
Right.
and the thing about it was, when you look at one of the biggest things, and a lot of people, if you go back and look at this artist on YouTube, the guy was phenomenal. The guy was a phenomenal artist. Telling great music was Heavy D. God rest
Oh,
his soul.
peace.
You know,
Yes.
the
Yes.
guy was just, he was the overweight lover, man, and he was just. I mean, he was just sharp, man, with the way he dressed, with the way he danced, his music, everything about him was
Yes.
appealing to people, and that's the beauty of hip hop, that you could appeal to somebody, because they feel like, you can draw them in because the music was that good.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I don't think it is no more, but hey, nowadays.
Yeah.
Um, shout out to briefly. Shout out to Heavy D. Rest in peace to that. Like you said, he changed the face, the look.
Yeah,
A big guy, but classy, positive. Never like Heavy D was always like positive. You know what I mean?
yeah,
He made sure
yeah,
he did that. Shout out to Heavy D. And also I want to piggyback off what you said. I think now, uh, historically, that has been the problem with hip hop, that it doesn't let people grow. You know what I mean? It's a young
yeah,
man sport, which it still is for the most part. But I think now, hip hop is defying that now. You have certain artists now that are defying the odds, like how it was. Like certain rappers are still doing their thing. They may not have the number one song, but they're still fixtures
yeah,
and prominent figures and can go on tour and are respected. Your Snoops, your Jay-Z's, your
yeah,
so many people are defying that, like what it was. Unfortunately for the DMCs and all these people, yeah, that's how it was. They were X'd out because they were old, but now hip hop is kind of defying those odds
yeah,
and able letting people grow. I don't think you have a choice. You don't have a choice. Some people are prominent, and I think now we're becoming. It's not like how it was in the 80s and 90s. People. I don't know how to say it, but your elders are growing differently. You know what I mean? They know how to be cool. Not like our parents, where it was such a gap with the generations. Now
yeah,
it's more entwined. I don't know if it's social media or what it is, but now it's more, intertwined, and it's different.
yeah.
Elders,
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what, man? I tell my son this a lot. I tell him, you know what, bro? I go, my dad, God rest his soul, my dad did not have that relationship with me like I have with my son. I can tell my son, hey, so-and-so came out with a new album. My dad was far from, he didn't, he wasn't even on his radar for that matter. Um, but yeah, no, yeah, you're absolutely correct on that part. I think, you know what I think it is too, man, and I'll try to hurry up here. Um, I think back then it's kind of like what you said earlier, G-Lew, like, back then, the celebrity wasn't seen all the time. It was rare. If you got to see him somewhere, that was a privilege, and an honor. Now it's like you can see him anytime you want. You go to their social media and you find them. Um,
too
and
accessible.
I think that's the one up.
I say they're too accessible.
No, yeah, yeah, and I think that's what the music was too back then. That the music was recorded and held. Didn't come out. You didn't hear it until it actually came out.
Yeah.
And I think that with the labels, at least for a while, there was an A&R. There was a person who took control of the situation, which is what I do on my independent label too. Is like, bro, that song's got to go. Like, that's not gonna go. That's not gonna work. Kind of deal. There was an A&R that took care of, made sure, like, okay, not that song, not this song, this one, and picked it out. I think what kind of ruins it now is that people are so accessible to record it and upload it to their, yes, Kid and Play as well. So thank you. They upload it to the internet, and it's like whatever. I see people. I'll say it like this: I see people go, "Oh, if I get 100 likes, I'll put out a new song," and then they put a clip out of it. It's not even done. It's not mixed. It's not mastered. It's not done halfway. Not even done. And the way I view that is like being at a restaurant, right? At a nice restaurant, you order food. The chef does not come out with your food raw and come and say, hey, look, this is what I'm gonna add some salt and pepper. I'm gonna add some garlic to this. I'm gonna add some butter. Like, dude, just go back there and cook it. Bring it back when it's all done, dude. And people are so in a hurry to get this stuff out, you know. And I think that a lot of it's not good,
Yeah,
you know. The time's not taken, the dedication not taken there to make
we're
something good, you know, and worth it, you know.
we're
That's
in
the
the
difference.
we're in the microwave era. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Of music and everything, how things are consumed. People want it right now, and people think they want it right now. So it's microwavable and it's consumed so fast and digested. Like it's here today, gone tomorrow. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So that is the case. And you said something too a few minutes ago about A&Rs in the
yes,
music industry. A&Rs were important because that's artist development. So they
yes,
develop it, they take the raw talent, which they see, but nowadays it's just raw talent and it's put out there.
yeah,
Where before you took the raw talent, seasoned it, marinated it, got them prepared,
yes, yes,
for with everything, then you put it out. It may
yes,
be a year, but you didn't know it a year because we didn't have social media. So all of that is taken out. So it's like all of this it's just put out raw. Everything is put out raw, and
yeah,
that's what we're seeing right now,
yeah,
but unfortunately the consumers, obviously like it that way because you have some of your biggest stars. I don't think they know any better though, but we have some of the biggest stars that are just put out there raw. Like you just said, there's
yeah,
no art development, they're just raw, but it works. So I guess, I don't know.
yeah.
People like
No, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct on that part, bro. Absolutely correct on that part.
Well, we are
Definitely.
definitely going to have to do this again. I want to respect your time, G-Lew. I know you have
Thank
your
you.
show coming up right now, and I don't want to cut into that because we are right there on that cutoff. So you guys
Yeah.
go tune in to G-Lew's show. And who do you have on tonight?
I have a special lady by the name of Sinclair. She's an up and coming artist, so I'm gonna interview her. But I want to say this. Thank you, Jen, and even all that because I forgot too. But thank you, and thank you for inviting me here. Like I've been wanting to come here for a long time, and hopefully I could come back. And I also wanted to chop it up with the homie Fred because I respect your music intellect, bro, and history and
Thank you.
knowledge and love of music. So I'm glad I
Thank
got
you.
to chop it up with you and
Thank you.
Jennifer.
Respect.
Long,
Respect.
it's long overdue, Jen. So I thank you for inviting me here, and I'm honored to be here. And I love your show. I'm so proud of you, all the great work you have been doing, and I just think you have a great future. And I can't wait to see you blow up in the lights. And respect to you, Jen. Thank you.
I appreciate that. Likewise,
Hey,
and I
hey,
feel the same way
hey,
about
good
you and your.
meeting you. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
What the-
definitely. You guys need to link up and talk about all your music stuff. And
Oh, yeah.
if somebody can drop G-Lew's channel in the chat so everyone can go over there and watch this interview, that would be great. So
And I want to say thank you to everyone in the chat that showed me love tonight. I was watching, and thank you everyone. Like there's a lot of love in here, man. And family is family. So my family is your family. We are all family. So thank you to everyone in the chat that tapped in and showed love and supported me and dropped a comment. Anything. I love you guys. I thank you and appreciate you so much. And Fred, man, I can't wait to do it again. Jennifer, shout out to House of Tattoos and Denise, who are usually here, but it's Denise's birthday. Happy birthday and shout out to House, man. Prayers to you, brother. You know what I mean? And thank you again for the love, man. I appreciate it, Jen and Fred.
definitely, we will do this again. We'll chop it up soon. So much love, and everybody have a blessed night. Jump on over to G-Lew's channel and check out this interview. You don't want to miss it. Until then, same time, Tuesday. We will catch you guys here. All new topics. You never know who you might see next week. So make sure you tap in. And with that said, buenas noches.